let's roll. What? Huh? Hi, I'm Jimothy. Welcome back to Jimothy Listens. And it's another weekly recap. This is the segment where every week I just share what I've listened to in the past week, give you some rapid fire thoughts on some new albums / EPs. Got some cool stuff in there this week. Let's just get right into it.
Let me tell my shit, or did I flex too much?
midwxst is one of the most exciting sort of young rappers around, I would say, at the moment. He always just manages to put out something exciting and cool and interesting, and this latest Back in Action 3.0 mixtape pretty much continues that. While I don't think it's as kind of exciting or interesting or forward thinking as his Better Luck Next Time mixtape from earlier this year, it's still like it makes up for it by just going hard as hell. It's giving like Playboy Carti Rage vibes, which is fun. It's got those very kind of big, distorted, heavy beats. It's energetic, it's bombastic, and it's fun. And what I really like is a lot of the kind of Carti copycats that you see nowadays very much try to copy his voice as well, that really like small baby voice. And pretty much unless you're Playboy Carti doing that, you just sink into the back of these loud beats. midwxst doesn't do that. He has a very energetic and loud and confident voice, which really sort of stands out and actually packs a punch along with the heavy beats. There's also some other bits of variety in there, like there's 223's the track with Babytron that takes on a bit more of, I guess, just like a Shitty Boys flair. And then there's 2 tracks on the back end that are a bit more kind of just like chill and laid back, not as aggressive. And overall, yeah, midwxst, just very cool. I'm very excited to just sort of see where he goes. This mixtape is like a 7 out of 10. Two baddies, one Porsche. I love Two Baddies. I have a reaction to this album that you can watch. I always get the wrong side. But yeah, I think the title track for this is phenomenal. I love just how over the top silly and fun it is. Unfortunately, the rest of the album doesn't really carry that. There's a few fun tracks in there. The opening track, Faster, is probably the best B-side. There's also a couple of other moments, but really the majority of the album is just like slow R&B, laid back, like almost indie pop stuff. And God, why? Why? The title track is so good because it is energetic and fun and upbeat, and then you go, oh, you thought we were going to give you more of that? Boring R&B track, boring R&B track, boring R&B track, boring R&B track. And I kind of feel like I got trolled a little bit, but that's fine. It's not horrible. Like, there's nothing really too bad, but it's just, I felt like I got a little bit baited. But still, the title track's a banger. Overall, it's like a 6 out of 10.
What if you die tomorrow? I don't think I cry.
Jessie Reyez is an artist who I actually really like, especially given the fact that I'm not really that into R&B. But her previous album, Before Love Came to Kill Us, I think is gorgeous and amazing and just has banger track after banger track. This new album doesn't quite reach those highs. It's just sort of in general a bit smaller. It also gets off to quite a slow start. The first few tracks are pretty nothing, just sort of like your standard contemporary R&B beats. Especially the track with Black is just boring as hell, which is a real disappointment given their last crossover was phenomenal. But kind of after that, it just slowly starts to pick up and we get more interesting production. Like there's a couple of more upbeat, brighter, almost dancier cuts in there. The vocal performances get bigger and have more variety. For example, the track Break Me Down is just like a huge anthem that she goes off in. There's also some nice emotional moments. Surprisingly, the really just sort of slow acoustic guitar ballad Emotional Detachment demo I actually really like. Overall, this album, it does have high points and good things, but it's just not quite as solid, not as much bang for your buck as we've heard from Jessie in the past. I'd give this like a 6 to 7 out of 10. Tony Velour has been releasing kind of a few little EPs since last year. This is the latest one, and yeah, it's another banger. His energetic production, fun rap, it's just energetic. Like energetic is really the word for Tony Velour and this EP. Everything is fast paced and skittery and just going. It's quite fun. His kind of like chill tone of voice makes it feel never out of control. It still feels quite just like cool and calm and collected, even while the beats are going like really my main issue with it is just that because it's a little EP, it's like less than 10 minutes, it just feels kind of small and inconsequential. I just keep waiting for a meteor release from Tony, considering his last album was really good and he's only developed sort of more flavors and textures since then, so I can't wait to see what he does on sort of like a full-length project hopefully soon, Tony. But yeah, this EP is cute. It's like a 6 out of 10. Now, this is a release that I have been waiting like 2 years for. Daniela Lalita is an artist that I first heard back in 2020 when she popped up a couple of times on Amnesia Scanner's Tearless album, which is one of my favorite albums of 2020. And at the time, I was like, oh, she sounds really cool. I want to check out more of her stuff. And like went to her Spotify page and it was completely empty. Googled her and it was like, yeah, no, she doesn't exist, at least in the music world. And so I was kind of disappointed. And then suddenly at the start of this year, we got just like a debut single and another one. And now we have this debut EP and it's everything I was hoping it would be. Her gorgeous, haunting voice, the way that the pitch just wavers up and down. The production is very sort of like synth and electronic heavy and in parts just gets completely balls to the walls, insane, loud and punchy. It's just gorgeous. It's phenomenal. I can't praise it enough. I think if you're a fan of Arca, this is definitely a release that you should check out. And even if Arca's maybe like a bit too like out there or weird for you or whatever, I'd still recommend checking this out because there's a lot of like nice sort of smaller, calmer, just really gorgeous moments in there. I am so excited by this EP. I love it and I can't wait for Daniela Lalita to just keep releasing more stuff. This is like a 8 to 9 out of 10.
Shouldn't be so hard to be a part of either.
Clipping. An artist I'm surprised I haven't really talked about them on the channel before because they are one of my favorite artists of all time. I absolutely adore everything that they do, and this is a new kind of just EP of remixes from their last 2 albums, the sort of horror albums, and is cool. Is super cool. There's a lot of variety, a lot of different names have come on just to fuck with the tracks a bit, so you never know what you're going to get from track to track. Some of them are kind of, more exciting and more interesting than others. I think my favorite is the first track, Part of Dust, just because it takes that little ending section of their track attunement and stretches that out into like a full 6-minute thing, which is gorgeous because I love that little moment at the end of attunement. It's just super short, and so the fact that they've taken that and stretched it out, it's delicious. And all of the other ones are nice too. Definitely worth checking out if you liked, Addiction to Blood and Bodies Being Burned. I kind of don't know what to score this with, like, just being a bunch of remixes. No score for now. It's just cool remixes. Cali Cartier is an artist that I absolutely adore. They're just insane, over the top, loud rapping made me fall in love with them 2 years ago, and since then I've just really enjoyed watching them kind of grow and develop as an artist. So it's kind of sad that this EP came out with the caveat of, this is my last solo release. So this kind of, it feels like the end of an era, especially for an artist that I've absolutely enjoyed listening to for 2 years now. But, even right up to the end, Cali still continues to surprise and evolve with each new release. This is absolutely them in their, like, pop star era. Instead of the very just loud and distorted and over the top and wacky, spacey beats of their previous releases, these songs feel a little bit calmer, but are a little more, like, fleshed out in terms of production. There's more like layers and textures in there, and Cali's voice as well, instead of being the shrill, high-pitched, repetitive yelling rapping, there's some more just like actual singing, which is nice. Their voice actually sounds pretty good, especially on the title track. I honestly thought that there was a Gene Dawson feature in there for a second. But yeah, Cali just proves that they can do anything. And even when I say that this is, chiller, I mean it's chiller by Cali's standard. It's still, compared to most like pop music, it's balls. It's batshit insane, still very loud and noisy and crunchy and textural, which is, you know, what we love to see. Especially take like the lead single Better, just has the insane punchy production that's just vicious but delicious. And yeah, overall I think this is cute. It's not necessarily one of my favorite Cali releases, but I like it quite a bit, and I'm sad to see Cali go. I hope that this isn't the end for Cali Cartier. I hope when they say last solo project, this just means that, I don't know, they're doing something as part of like a collective, or they're gonna like do a name change or something. I don't know. I don't want this to be the end for Cali. But this EP is like it's like a 6 to a 7 out of 10.
And I did it often week by week. Always got a new flow on my shoe.
And finally, we have a new, just sort of deluxe version of Saleh's mixtape from last year, Crossover. This is very funny timing for this to be dropped, because if you haven't heard me talk about it before, I'm doing a show at the moment as part of Sydney Fringe Festival. That show is called Crossover. It's inspired and uses a lot of music from this album. And so it's very funny that coming up to our final weekend, Saleh just released a little deluxe version and said, here, have a bit more. Listening to the main album again with like trying to take it out of the context of the show and just listen to it as a project was fun. It bangs. It's really good. If you haven't listened to this, definitely give it a go. It's just super fun, tasty, groovy, vibey, kind of like Afro mixed with electronic stuff. It's just very, very cool, very dancey, very vibey, very groovy. But the 3 new tracks as well are mostly bops. We got the single Chosen a while ago, and I'm not that hot on it. I think it's a bit bland. But Day to Day is just like, it's just a dance track, and it's incredible. It's such a bop. I'm so happy to see Saleh doing something like that. I think it's phenomenal. And then Quentame is incredible. Might be my favorite Saleh track to date. I'll have to give it more time, but holy crap, it's delicious. The production just hits hard. Their vocals are insane. It's just, it's so tasty, tasty, tasty. So yeah, Saleh, absolutely love hearing more from them. Can't wait to see what he does in the future. Just, yeah, really, really like it. I'm not going to give it a score because it's literally like 3 new tracks, but yeah, into it. And that does it for this week's wrap up. Have you heard any of these projects? Let me know your thoughts. Otherwise, if you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe. You know, we're doing this every week, as well as various other bits and bobs. And I'll catch you in another video. See ya.